Howdy, howdy, Hogtown campers. Well, it's been a while. So, we're going camping finally. Headed to Lake Brownwood State Park over close to Brownwood, Texas, of course. It's about a 50-mile drive. I will not bore you with the details of the drive. So, don't worry about that. But, gonna run into town first in Brownwood, get a few things. And then we will head to the park, and I will meet back up with you guys once I get there. All right, stay tuned. All right, and we're here at the park. So, nice little drive. Like I say, I had to do some stuff in town before I came out here, but I'm here. Sounds like I'm gonna be able to check into the site early. Gonna go get checked in and then probably do some hiking, but real quick, I'm gonna run into the park office and get my magnet and my sticker and my permit, and I will see you guys at the campsite. Let's take a look at the site. All right, as you can see, there's the Hogtown camping mobile. And let me show you something I've done with this car so far. Take a look at that. Hogtown camping, now we're official. I've got one for both doors. And there's a few things I'm gonna do with this car over the next little while to make it a little bit more camping friendly. As you see, I got my Sasquatch there on the back windshield. Got my little Life as an Adventure sticker. And I've even got a little Happy Camper hitch cover. And then, of course, on this door, another placard. So, as you can see, got a pretty good view of the lake, and there's a few people here. A little volleyball court over there, and the campsite here. Hopefully it doesn't get occupied while I'm here, but this site has water and electric. Nice little rock path up to the picnic table area. The picnic table has seen better days, but it'll do. Barbecue grill, and a nice little fire pit. As you can see, and there's this also this other little place over here. So I'm assuming that this might go to the other campsite. I don't know, but it's a nice little rock bench area, a little table. Of course, there's their fire pit. But this park was actually built as part of the CCC program back in the, I guess, like the 30s and 40s maybe. So there's a lot of old rock construction here. I'll show you where I'm going to put the tent. Let's see here. Alright, I think this little area right here that goes up towards the prickly pear there, I think that'll be a pretty good spot. But of course, I will show you guys my little campsite once I get it set up, and hopefully it'll be a nice little home away from home for a couple days. But right now I'm going to start unloading the car a little bit, and I might go hiking here in a little bit, before it gets too late on me. And once I get started, I'm going to share a little something else with you that kind of pertains to my hike. So until then, we'll see you. Here we are. I'm going to walk down to this trail here. It says it's about 2.9 miles. So I'm going to try to walk the whole thing. I'm doing a new thing. It's called the Conquer Challenge, and it's a virtual challenge. And basically what you do is you walk, ride, bicycle, or run, or any other exercise, and you log your miles. And you put them in this app, and it goes towards doing a virtual challenge. And once you finish the virtual challenge, you get a medal. And so right now I'm doing what's called the Jesus Challenge, which is basically, I think, Jesus's trip from Jerusalem to, or from Nazareth to Jerusalem, I'm not sure. But it's like 40 miles, and so far I've done 11 miles. And so I plan to try to get some miles in while I'm walking here. So I'm gonna sign off until I get to the trail, and then I'll see you then. Alrighty, so here I am at the trailhead. Let's take a look. So I guess this trail is called Nopales Ridge. And here at the trailhead, as you can see, you've got a little bike rack and even a bicycle repair station, a picnic table, a little bench, and then an even nicer bench right here. Won't that look comfy? But let's see, as you can see, a lot of mesquite trees, some live oak, just your typical sort of central westish part of Texas. Up here we've got a map of the trail. Let's see what this says. And it's a little chilly up, but it's beautiful really today. But alrighty, so let's look at the map here. So as you can see, we're right here. My campsite is like right in here somewhere, I think. Right in here is where our campsite is. And from the campsite down to here, it was roughly 0.44 miles. But I'm going to start hiking on this trail, and I'll check in with you periodically. But like I say, it shows to be about almost 3 miles. So hopefully I don't get eaten or taken by a Sasquatch or something. One thing I like to do here at the state parks is geocache. And there's a few right here on the trail. In fact, it says there's one about 207 feet away from here. So I'm going to navigate to it. Let's see what we can find. Alrighty. Shows I'm right on top of the thing. Let's see if we can find it. I bet it's in this right here somewhere. So let's see where it's at. I see it. Looky there it is. And as always, once you get done with it, you always put everything back the way you found it. Let's see what we got. Get it where I can open it. Alrighty. So as you can see, all sorts of knickknacks. I'm going to pause the video so so I can fill out the form, and then we'll move on. All right, that's one geocache down and 2 more to go. So let me tell you a little bit about my experience with the Texas State Parks. I think there's probably about 80 of them, I think. I've camped at 5. I camped at Meridian State Park, Possum Kingdom State Park, Abilene State Park, Lake Mineral Wells State Park, which if you're ever in Texas, that's probably one of the best parks in this area. And then this will be my 5th, Lake Brownwood State Park. All of them have been really nice. Possum Kingdom was probably the least of my favorite outings, and that was only because it was like 115 degrees when I stayed there, and it was miserable. I had a bad campsite, but overall the park was really nice. This is my first time here. I probably mentioned that already a dozen times, but so far I like it. It's a pretty park. Another reason why Possum Kingdom State Park, that stay was not so good, so there were deer all over the park, and which that's awesome. I mean, they were everywhere. I bet there were 50 of them at night that would come out around our campsite. But the second night we were there, we started hearing feral hogs out in the woods. Well, we didn't think much of it. We had a couple ice coolers on our, we had a covered pavilion with our campsite, and we had slept one night, had no issues. Well, that night we had a real big commotion, and we get up in the morning and our ice chests were scattered. They had got in, ate some of our food. Nothing was really just damaged, but it kind of put a damper on it. So needless to say, we were supposed to leave that day anyway. We did not stick around as long as we had planned to because, well, frankly, we were a little ticked off. But I still want to go back there and do a second trip there, and maybe, you know, maybe have a better experience this time. But like I say, Texas has so many good state parks. A very unique one that I went to is out in Monahans, Texas. It's called Monahans Sandhills State Park. And it looks like something out of a movie because it's all white sand. There's not any trees. It's all white sand, and you can go sand sledding. So it's definitely a very unique state park. I've almost walked a mile on this trail, but overall, walking from the campsite to the trailhead and here, I've done 1.15 miles, and I still have about 2 miles left on the trail. But looks like we're coming up to a little rest spot, a little bench and everything. There's really some beautiful views out here, and I'm gonna try to see if I can get that in the video. If not, I took some pictures, and those will be up on the Hogtown Camping Facebook page. But yeah, let's check this little bench out here. I'm probably gonna skip this one because I don't need a rest. I'm tough. But here it is. So as you see, nice little shady area. This little bench here, and a lot of beautiful woods. And right out that way, it's hard to see with all the brush, but you can see the lake, and we're kind of up on a hill. And I mean, it's just beautiful out across there. But like I say, if I can't get a good image of that in the video, it'll be in my pictures on the Facebook page. But a little something else there's a lot of out here Prickly pears. Some people eat the fruit. I've never been a fan, but they also eat the leaves, and I do like those. Got some yucca right here. When I was a kid, I was in the Boy Scouts, and we would pull the yucca leaves off and sort of chew on them because it was moist, and supposedly you could get water out of there. Didn't really have a taste to them, really, but it was just something we did. I'm on the trail of another geocache. I actually passed it because I wasn't paying attention to the app. So I'm gonna have to backtrack just a little bit, not much. And it shows I'm about 60 foot from it. Let's see. Oh, I bet it's in this little, probably in this little grove of trees here. Let's see where people walked in here. Yep, that one was easy. I see it right there. Let's get in here and check it out. Alrighty. Another ammo can. This one was right out in the open. Alrighty. You know, something to write with? Well, I guess not, but I found it. I'm not going to try to write in there. I'll just log it on the app. And I might try to fix this thing a little bit so that it's not as visible. Yeah, it's not as good as I would like, but it's better than it was. Well, on we go. So, it wouldn't be a better opportunity than now, while I'm out in the middle of nowhere, to mention the missing 411 phenomena. I don't know how many of you guys have actually heard of this. There's a guy named David Pallades who has kind of made it his mission to investigate this phenomenon. And basically it involves the mysterious disappearances of people in and around the national parks and maybe some state parks, and not even that. I mean, there's other places just out in the wilderness where people just disappear, no sign, and there's always these extremely weird circumstances surrounding their disappearance. And so, yeah, makes me a little bit leery walking around out here in the woods by myself in a state park. But Dave has made 3 different documentaries about this phenomenon. The first one was strictly about missing persons. It could be found on streaming media. I highly recommend it. The second one involved hunters and their disappearances. And part of that documentary even touched on Bigfoot and maybe a connection between that and the missing 411 phenomena. The third documentary he put out, it involves a connection with UFOs. But all 3 are on streaming media. I highly recommend them. He's put out, I don't know how many books on the subject. And mainly they're just factual stuff, you know, just missing reports. You know, just very factual, no embellishments, no nothing. But he has a YouTube channel, and it's called the Can-Am Missing 411 Project, or something to that effect. It's a pretty interesting channel as well. But, you know, like I say, I might be jinxing myself talking about it while I'm out here walking around, but hey, you never know. Just kidding. Just ahead is the 2-mile marker for the trail, and I got a few things I want to mention while I'm walking. So one thing I've noticed while I've been walking is, as you can see, there's all this really tall dry grass. Even more so at the beginning of the trail. That would be an extreme fire danger. So definitely want to keep your campfires secure out here. We've had lots of wildfires around my area over the last 4 or 5 years. Thousands of acres burnt. So it just makes you puts it in perspective that how easy, you know, a fire can get out of hand. And especially in a place like this, you definitely don't want to destroy a state park or a national park or any sort of, you know, nature area by being careless with your fire. Something else I've noticed while I've been walking, and I'll see if I can find some more sign of it. I've noticed lots of sign. Oh, perfect. See that? That might be an armadillo. But I've also seen a lot of sign of feral hogs. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm not a big fan of them. So, needless to say, I will be keeping all of my important things in the car tonight, short of myself. So, they will not be getting into my ice chest this time. Look at that view. I mean, it is gorgeous. Lots of beautiful, clear looking water. There's some houses that way, but my main focus is that lake. Look at that. Thought I would share with you. Alright guys, I said that if I saw some more hog sign I would show you. Let's see. Alright, you see around this tree how it's kind of rooted out around. Most likely that is a wild hog. And then there's a little bit more on this side. And then right here. And a little bit more right there. And something else I've noticed, if you look at all the grass right here, you see it looks like it's kind of matted down. Some of that might be because it's real thick, but I seen a place up farther back that looked like it had been laid down by something, and that something had bedded down there. So there's a lot of them out here, I'm sure, and they are destructive. Oh, they're destructive, but hopefully we won't have any issues with them. Okay, so this is random. I'm just walking along and found this up on top of a wooden post. It is some sort of skull. I'm not sure what kind off the top of my head. Maybe a deer skull? It's definitely got some pieces missing, but definitely strange it being out here in the middle of nowhere. So I think I'm probably about 2.5 miles into this thing, and so far it's been a nice little hike. Definitely seen some more hog signs. Seen some pretty fresh looking scat back that away. I'm not sure what it was. It definitely didn't look like anything like a raccoon or a deer. It possibly could have been a hog. I'm not real sure. But there's some kind of little marker right here. It doesn't really give any mileage. It just has a little image of people walking, indicating this is a hiking trail, obviously. But so I guess let's talk about what I'm going to do this evening. So when I get back, I'm going to set up my tent, my camp, get it all situated, and then tonight I'm debating on if I'm going to cook on the fire pit or if I'm going to cook in the grill, on the grill. Sadly, the fire pit, it does not have a very smooth grate. It's kind of warped and I mean, it'll work perfect for a fire pit, but as far as cooking on the grate, it's not going to be very easy for my cast iron skillet to set on. So I'll probably just cook on that barbecue grill. But I'm going to have blue cheeseburgers and beans. And I'm going to be honest with the bean thing. From the time I could, as long as I could remember, I have never liked beans, period. I will eat refried beans once in a while at like a Mexican restaurant. But just beans, like regular beans, nope. And you definitely do not put beans in chili. I am sorry. If you're from Texas and you put beans in chili, there is no hope for you, sir or ma'am. But I'm gonna actually eat some beans with my burgers tonight. I bought a small can of Bush's baked beans, and I'm going to do some modification to it because I'm not really a sweet person. I'm more of a savory person. So I'm gonna add some stuff to them, maybe a little bit to make them not so sweet. But I am gonna eat beans because, well, something new. Well, it took me an hour and 24 minutes, but I have finished the 3-mile hike. It was basically a big circle, so I'm right back to where I started, but it was nice. Like I say, I'm gonna head back to camp, and on my way I'm going to show you guys a few things, and I'll get some pictures. We'll get back to camp and start setting up, and then pretty soon it'll be time for dinner. Let me show you something here. Alright, this is the way back to camp, and on the way I want to show you guys something neat. So there are several different camping options here at the park. Obviously RVs are probably your main source of accommodations here, and then there's tent camping, which I'm going to do, and then they've also got screen shelters and cabins. And let me show you this cabin here. This is cabin number 13, and I'm not gonna lie, it would be cool to stay in. Let's go check it out. One time when I stayed at Abilene State Park, they're the only park in Texas that offers yurts, and it was a neat experience. And we stayed there in February, and we were plenty warm inside there, and it was nice, but not as nice as this. Check this out. Nice blinds on the window. You know, it's just a neat little cabin. Doesn't look like anybody's staying here. In fact, there's a park notice saying that the cabins and the screen shelters are probably going to be closed this next year for renovation. But as you can see, they got a fire pit, a nicer picnic table than I've got, barbecue grill. And I keep hearing something over here. I don't know if it's a critter or if it's just like a bird or something bigger. I haven't really seen any wildlife other than birds yet. But another cabin over there. Of course, they've got a little walkway light here, so the path is lit. Got an air conditioner, even has a fireplace. So pretty cool. Definitely something that I might have to look into at a later time, because Lord knows I'm not gonna be able to get everything done on this park while I'm here. So there will be another trip here, I'm sure. So these are the screen shelters I was telling you about, and basically what they are is just a It's just an open structure with a screen. They might have a picnic table inside. I'm not real sure. I know they've got one outside along with a fire pit and a barbecue pit. They've actually got the newer fire pits here. A little bit better quality than what I've got at my campsite, but that's one of them. That's what I've had at the other state parks that I visited, was one of these. And like I say, it's a heck of a lot nicer fire pit than what I've got over on my side. But two beggars can't be choosers. I can make it work. But as you can see, this is the volleyball court I was showing you earlier, and a beautiful view of the lake. I mean, look at that. That's just super cool. But I'm hoping towards dusk there will be some deer come out. We can only see. I'm gonna start setting the tent up, and then we'll sit down, have something to drink, and hang out for a bit. All right, stand by. All right, got my trusty camo tarp. The bad thing with a lot of this landscape here is there's a lot of rock kind of below the surface, so sometimes it's hard to get the stakes all the way in the ground. And so the tent I'm going to be using today is my River Country Trekker 2.2 tent. It's the same tent I used on the my last stealth camp. Alright, we're almost there. Just a couple more stakes. Alright, so the tent is set. Time to put the cot and the sleeping pad and all that in there. But my battery's about to die on me. But real quick, so I like this tent a lot. I've used it just the once, but it worked really good. But I did a little modifications to it. I didn't like the guy lines that came with it. They were just sort of flimsy. So I took some carabiners and some reflective paracord and switched out the guy lines for those. And then I also switched out the stakes to the ones that sort of look like a shepherd's staff, because I didn't like the little lightweight aluminum ones. But like I say, tent set up, and I'm going to get everything set up on the inside, but until then I'm going to change batteries. Alrighty guys, so got the tent set up, got all the bedding put in, got my camp line put up so I can hang my solar lights later. I'm gonna hang out here a little bit and enjoy me a Dos Equis and kind of hang out for a bit, sort of chill. I'm a little bit tired, not gonna lie. That three mile hike, I'm not used to that anymore, but it'll get better. So let's check this out. Got me a nice little fire started here in this pit. Gonna cook me some hamburgers and some beans like I told you, and I'm gonna be cooking in this little Lodge cast iron skillet here. But got thick cut bacon, gonna put some of that on my burgers, and then the burgers here, they're still kind of frozen, so I'm gonna try to thaw them out. It's time to prepare dinner. So I've got my hamburger patties setting out. They're still a bit frozen, but I went ahead and got them separated and seasoned up with some sea salt, black pepper, and some Worcestershire sauce. I'm gonna let them sit here and kind of marinate for just a few minutes. Hopefully the Worcestershire sauce will mix in. And then in the meantime, I'm about to start cutting up my bacon, and I'm gonna cut one slice up for the beans, and then 2 slices for the, maybe 3 slices or 4 slices for the burgers. I'm gonna put some bacon on my burgers, but then to top it off, we're gonna put the blue cheese. So I'm gonna let this sit for a few minutes. So I'm gonna chop this bacon up, slice it. I probably should have sharpened my knife a little bit better, but it'll be okay. Let's make these a little bit smaller. My knife actually has a sheath that goes with it that has a sharpener built in, and I didn't even think to use it first, but I'm gonna chop this slice up, and then I'll get it ready for the pan. Like I say, this is going in the beans. Alrighty. So there's that piece. And I might not even need more than 2 more pieces for the burgers, because this is some pretty thick bacon. And then the rest of this bacon will be for breakfast the next 2 days. Alright, I'm probably going to slice this bacon in half, to be honest. That way it's not so big for the pan. I bet my burgers are probably ready to go on the fire. So hold tight. Alright, so once I put them on the grill, I'll put some more Worcestershire on the other side and season the other side, and then I'll season and Worcestershire them 2 more times. And I'm probably going to have to lower the grate on this grill over here, because once my coals get started that way, the skillet will actually get hot.
I do not remember that. I'm pretty sure you did. Hey. Get over here. I guess at that time that had been their go-to antibiotic.
Alright, I'm going to have to cook the bacon kind of in stages, I guess. Alright, so here's what we've got going so far. Got the burgers. That one had a boo-boo. The bacon, hopefully, is going to start cooking here pretty quick. But it's going to be delicious. Once the burgers get done, almost done anyway, I'm going to put a little bit of this on there. If you've ever had a blue cheese and bacon burger, you know how good this is. If not, I highly recommend it. Alright, let's check on the burgers. Oh, they're looking pretty good. Let me get one more second. I told myself I needed to bring a pot holder, and I was like, no, I don't. I've got the little silicone thing for the handle. I don't have nothing for the lid. Look at that bacon. It's not cooking the best, but it's getting there. Alright guys, so finally got the bacon done. The burgers are mostly done. I'm going to put them back on here in a minute to heat them back up and then melt the blue cheese. I finally got the beans going, and basically I just added more bacon and some more Worcestershire sauce to it and some pepper. I'll probably add some more pepper and Worcestershire just to get rid of the sweetness. Alright guys, so the beans are finally done. I've just got the burgers on here. Gonna melt the blue cheese, and let me show you these beans. I'm not really a fan of beans, but they look good. In fact, I'm about to try them. Dinner is finally done. Like I say, I've got blue cheese bacon burgers with Bush's baked beans seasoned up with black pepper and bacon grease, extra bacon, and Worcestershire sauce. So, like I say, I don't really eat beans that often, but I'm not gonna lie, these are pretty good. But start eating, and I will get back to you guys at a later time. It's about time to just start relaxing. I was going to tell a story tonight, but there's way too many people around. I might do something a little different later this evening. So until then, I'm just going to sit here and hang out, have some step twos, and just enjoy the fire. Alright guys, well, I'm in the tent, and I'll probably show you what it kind of looks like in here in the morning. I was going to do a story at the fire, but my neighbors down the way were a little bit loud. And surprisingly, for being Thanksgiving weekend, there are a lot of people here. So I'm probably not going to do a story tonight, and I might not be able to get one in. on this trip. There was one I came across, and it's kind of short. Maybe I can do it. But it's called the Fang Baby of Pearsall Road. And this happened around San Antonio. And so this group of guys, they were out joyriding. This is in like the 60s, I think. And as they're going along, they see this, looks like a baby on the side of the road. It was wearing nothing but like a diaper and a white shirt. And as they got closer to it, they noticed it had blood on its mouth. Well, they tried to avoid hitting the baby, and the car went out of control, and they barely kept from rolling. And so they went home, and the guy who was driving the car, there was just something about the incident that just bugged him. And so he decided to return to that location the next day. And as he was driving, he had a tire blowout. And he pulled over and was looking at the flat tire and noticed it was really damaged. But what he didn't notice was that there were 2 puncture wounds in the tire. And so he got the tire changed, and he had some beer in the back of his car. And he decided he was going to have him a beer. And he crawled in the back seat and started drinking his beer, but he ended up passing out. And when he woke up, he had a pain in his neck, and he noticed that baby was standing there. And it had blood all over its mouth. And then after that dude was never seen again. And they say his sister had a dream one night. And in the dream, she dreamt of her brother telling her, never go down Pearsall Road. Anyway, it was an interesting story. I've never heard of it before. Kind of strange, but it'll do for now, I guess. Like I say, I'm about to shut it down for the night. I appreciate you guys watching me. Before I go, I just want to say, this channel would not be possible if it wasn't for the big man upstairs. I don't want to go just super deep into that, but I enjoy doing what I'm doing, and I do it because it gets me closer to him. Alright guys, well, it's day 3 of the trip. I am on the way home. So I ended up not filming any video yesterday. I had a friend come and join me, and so I ended up just visiting with him and just having a good relaxing day. And so didn't really do a whole lot anyway. I just sort of hung around camp and just relaxed. So nothing major that was missed. One thing I will share is, for dinner last night I made some pretty good tacos, and I've got pictures of those. You should be able to see those on the Facebook page once I get all that uploaded, and I might include some screenshots and maybe a voiceover in the video. But I'm probably going to let you guys go for now, so I can drive. But I will be seeing you guys again soon, hopefully. I'm going to try not to make a 6-month or 8-month gap in between videos next time, but we'll see. So in the meantime, if you want to, check my bio on YouTube, get a t-shirt. If not, that's cool. Otherwise, I'll see you soon. Keep camping.